Last week, you filled up your tank at one price. This week, same station, different number. No explanation. Here's the part most people miss. You're paying for a war you didn't join, and probably aren't even following. Something happened, halfway across the world, and somehow, it made its way into your wallet. The question is, how does that even work? Have you ever wondered why the price at the gas pump jumps overnight, even though nothing happened in your town? It is weird, right? One moment you pay $5 a gallon, the next it is $6. You check the news, but nothing about local gas stations is happening. So why are you paying more? Here's the thing. Most people do not realize it, but global conflicts can hit your wallet faster than traffic on a Friday afternoon. A missile in the Middle East, a drone strike in the Gulf, suddenly ripples across the world. And you feel it at the gas pump in suburban America. Last week, Iran and the United States were already on edge. Israel got involved. Targets were hit, some high-level leaders eliminated, military systems destroyed. You do not see it in your backyard, but the effect travels through oil supply lines and shipping routes straight to your local gas station. That is why prices spike. And it is not just about oil. It is about power. Who controls the trade routes? Who decides which pipelines run and which stop? Countries like China and Russia are quietly pulling levers in the background, while here at home, Americans are left wondering why the cost of living seems to jump overnight. Even more shocking, the people making the decisions on the ground are not the ones you see on TV. Sometimes it is a leader's son stepping up in the middle of a crisis. Sometimes it is a multinational company deciding whether a ship can pass through a canal safely. One move there, one phone call here, and suddenly your grocery bill looks different. So before you complain about gas prices, remember this. Your everyday life is connected to battles, alliances, and deals happening thousands of miles away. The war may not be in your city, but it is definitely in your wallet. And that is just the beginning. In the next chapter, we are going to see how a superpower can have all the weapons in the world and still struggle to control a single sea lane. You are going to see why brute force is not always enough, and how power moves in ways you would never expect. So imagine this. The United States has the most powerful military on the planet. Aircraft carriers, stealth bombers, precision missiles, you name it. In theory, they can hit any target anywhere. Sounds unstoppable, right? But here's the twist. Sometimes, having all that firepower is not enough. Take the Strait of Hormuz, for example. It is just a narrow strip of water, but it moves about 20% of the world's oil supply. That is huge. A few days of chaos there, and gas prices in your hometown in Texas or California spike. And yet, even with all its weapons, the US cannot just waltz in and control it completely. Geography, politics, and clever adversaries make it messy. Iran, despite being smaller and less equipped, knows how to play this game. Drones, missiles, and small naval forces. They are hitting hard and fast, not to win a full-scale war, but to make every move costly. They are not trying to take over the world. They are shaping the rules so that every superpower, even one as huge as the US, has to think twice before acting. Now think about this. While the US is flexing its muscles, another giant is quietly watching. China is sitting back, moving money and oil quietly, calling leaders on the phone, making deals that could decide the outcome without firing a single shot. Sometimes, power is not about bombs. It is about knowing who can survive the chaos and who cannot. And here's the kicker. Even the leaders on the front lines face a paradox. You destroy the enemy's command centers, eliminate top officials, and expect everything to collapse. But if the system does not fall, who do you negotiate with? Who signs the surrender papers? Sometimes, you are left negotiating with shadows, and that is when chaos becomes the most powerful weapon of all. So next time you see gas prices jump or hear about a strike halfway across the world, remember this. Global power is not just about who can hit harder. It is about strategy, timing, and the invisible levers that connect your life in Ohio, New York, or California to a conflict in the Middle East. And trust me, in the next chapter, we are going even deeper. We will see how hidden financial and political moves are just as deadly as missiles, and how one wrong calculation can ripple across the entire planet. Okay, let's get real for a second. You're in your car in Los Angeles, sipping a coffee, thinking about your day. Then you hit the gas pump, and bam, your wallet feels it. But how did a missile strike thousands of miles away in the Middle East make your tank cost more today? That is the question no one explains clearly. Here's the deal. Oil doesn't just magically appear at your local station. It travels through global supply chains, pipelines, and shipping routes, like the Strait of Hormuz. Block that for even a few days, and prices spike everywhere. Not because someone is trying to make life harder for you personally, but because the gears of global trade are that connected. Now mix in the politics. The US tries to flex its muscle, Iran strikes back with precision, and suddenly, oil becomes a weapon. Not bombs, not tanks, but money. Every drone, every targeted strike, every naval move sends shockwaves straight to your bills, to the stores, to every business that depends on fuel. And then there's China, quietly moving in the background. They're buying, storing, negotiating. While everyone else is panicking, they are making sure they are not just safe, they are gaining leverage. Think about it. One country can manipulate global oil flows without launching a single missile. That is modern power. The irony? Even with all that military might, the US can't just force a solution. The enemy doesn't have to win outright. They just have to survive, adapt, and make the situation expensive and unpredictable. That's the reality of 21st century conflict. Survival is strategy, and chaos is the ultimate equalizer. So next time you complain about high gas prices, remember, it's not just a local problem. It's part of a global chess game, with moves you can't see, by players who don't care about your morning commute. And in the next chapter, we're going to pull back the curtain even more, showing how politics, finance, and war collide in ways that can literally change your life before your coffee even cools. Alright, so we've seen the strikes, the drones, the ships sinking, and the chaos in the Middle East. But here's the kicker. None of this is just over there. It comes home. Every spike in gas prices, every shipping delay, every hike in food costs, that's your life. That's your morning coffee, your grocery run, your weekend road trip. The weird part? Even with all the military firepower in the world, a superpower like the US can't just force a country like Iran to bend, destroy their radar, take out their missiles, even threaten the Strait of Hormuz. And what do you get? Survival. A system that adapts, hides, and finds ways to keep running. That's the paradox of power today. Destruction doesn't guarantee control. Meanwhile, other players are quietly winning. Russia's selling oil at higher prices. China's using diplomacy and trade to tighten its grip. They don't fire a shot, they don't risk a soldier, but they gain influence while the chaos unfolds. It's a reminder that power isn't just about guns or bombs. It's about leverage, money, and patience. Back at home, the US faces limits. Congress, public opinion, and the clock of elections restrict what the president can do. A conflict can't last forever without consequences, and every day the market reacts, the public grumbles, and political pressure builds. High gas prices aren't just numbers. They're votes, emotions, and stress on households. So what's the takeaway? In the 21st century, being a superpower doesn't mean you can crush the world and walk away. It means navigating a complex web of survival, economics, alliances, and unexpected pushback. Sometimes the strongest military isn't enough, and the smallest decisions, like a drone strike or a shipping blockade, can ripple into your daily life in ways no one predicts. Next time you fill up your tank or check your grocery bill, remember this: global power plays are not abstract. They are here, in your neighborhood, in your bank account, and in the choices leaders make thousands of miles away. The world is connected, messy, and unpredictable, and that's exactly why watching these moves unfold is more than just news. It's survival, strategy, and reality in action.